This is our fourth video on what style do you teach, and in this time I'm just going to talk about how did integrity martial arts arrive at teaching this breakthrough style, and I'll just tell you a little bit about it. It's going to be largely about my personal history, right? Because styles don't really exist except for when people practice them, and so the history of this style, which I created, is sort of the history of me. Although I'm very proud of the fact that many people now benefit from it and that it's grown to much bigger than me. But it started out, as a large degree, its story is my story to some degree. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, my name is John Metcalf. I own Integrity Martial Arts. It's a martial arts school in Enfield, Connecticut. And just talking about what style we teach here at the school. So when I was first year of college, I started studying something called Kempo, Shian Kempo, and I was studying under two guys, Ken Warner and Ben Thomas, while I was at Wesleyan. And I loved it. I had done a little bit of martial arts before, and I just love that style. It was what I would call complete martial art in the sense that it had punching and kicking and taking people down. And I thought that people who taught it were really good people, still do, and really a huge influence on me. I studied with them for about 10 years and continued to teach the Kempo and train till about 2018 in Kempo. So during that time, though, the organization in which Ken and Ben and I met, well, we met at college and we were just working out, but ultimately I went to work in 1996 in the martial arts industry, and we were part of an organization, and that organization kind of fell apart in 2000, 2001. And so I was no longer under a direct tutelage in Kempo. But I had met at that time a man named Walt Lysak somewhere in 2001. I'm not exactly sure which. And I started studying under him with his Sento stuff. And I immediately recognized, almost right out of the gate, as much as I really like Kempo, and I thought for a traditional style, it really encompassed a lot of things that what Shian was teaching, Shian's just like a master teacher rank, was the next level. I mean, it was so much more advanced, and I could see the reality-based stuff, and oh yeah, you know what? We do it this way because when you're on concrete, that thing that works in the dojo doesn't work well at all. And here, let's go out in the concrete and let's try it. So all these things that I'd never done before, or things that I thought might work, and then found, throughout studying, hey, look, it works in the dojo, but maybe not in other circumstances. And it just seemed like every time he taught something, he's like, yeah, and you don't want to do this in this circumstances because just the depth of knowledge is huge. So I have a world full of credit to all my instructors, but what I'm talking about in this video is really full credit to Walt Lysak. So what I loved about studying with Shihan was the depth of knowledge and the applicability to real self-defense. What I loved teaching about the breakthrough style that I had created was that everything was really discrete, and it is discrete. It's like, okay, here's what you need to do for your belt. Here's the moves, and I like this technique for this reason, and I like this drill for that reason. But I recognized, when studying with Shihan, oh man, his students are better than my students in the self-defense arena. My character development curriculum is top shelf, but his students were just much better at that stuff, and for good reason. That's what he's focused his whole life on, and has been studying martial arts longer than I have, and incredibly dedicated. But I thought, okay, he inspired me to do better, and so we created what I call Breakthrough 2.0, which is we changed up the methodology in which we teach and the material in which we teach to really be more in alignment with the reality-based martial arts stuff that I learned from Shihan, Walt Lysak, and others like Rick Alford and Rory Miller and a few others. So it continues to be a complete martial art of striking, stand-up grappling, ground fighting, weapons, and the pre-fight tactics and thinking that could prevent violence. I think that's very important because, if you get into a fight, it's going to go bad for one or both of you, probably both of you, not just in a physical way, but also in a legal way, right? There's a lot more to it than just, in a psychological way often too. There's a lot more to it than, hey, did I win? It's not a trophy you're fighting for. It's your life, it's your family, it's your well-being, it's your bank account, it's your future job prospects. there's so much at stake that if you can prevent violence from getting to that physical point, that's so much better a solution. And not just talking about that as an idea, but actually putting that into the training, having a full spectrum of self-defense, right from the verbal, all, through the postural, through the positioning, analyzing your exits, all that stuff. So that to me is really what Breakthrough 2.0 brings to the table, while still being very discreet and like, okay, here's exactly what you need to know. Here's the drills that we're going to be doing to help you be more adaptable than just knowing a specific technique. Because there's a weakness in people who just train techniques, is that they're not as flexible as they could be, because like your techniques never going to work the way you practice them, right? So you need to practice in environments where your techniques are, you always have to adapt your techniques to whatever is going on, and often abandon them and do something else that's in alignment with the ideas behind the techniques. So that's Breakthrough 2.0. And I hope that was clear. So my path was, I started in a fairly progressive martial art called Kempo. And then I met Walt Isaac and updated my system in response to, and I didn't start it right away. I started training with him in 2001, and Breakthrough 2.0 came out in 2018, I think. So I've done a little bit more. I've done almost 15, 20 years with him before I felt really comfortable. Like, yeah, I can create something from the ideas there that really work. So that's that. And so that's, if you're studying our school now, you have a better idea about how this came through, and just a frank understanding of that. And I hope you really get a lot out of it. And if you're studying someplace else, look, every martial art has its benefits, and I want you to be really clear about, hey, what is it that you're looking to get out of it, and does this provide it? And if you have any questions, feel free to call me. Just look up Integrity Martial Arts. Our number right now is 860-698-9226. Has been for the last 25 years. But I don't know how long this video is going to be on the internet for. So check it out. Thank you so much for listening for this 7.5-minute video.